Hi friends! Alright, so we have worked on go foods and slow foods and talked about how to build language around making healthy choices with some imaginary play activities. And now I want to talk a little bit more about how you might set up kind of a situation where you're doing some pretend play with cooking and requesting with food. And kind of outlining what it would look like, you know, when you're, instead of actually being at the kitchen table, taking that context, which is very awesome because it's so familiar for a lot of kiddos, right? That's something that you do throughout the day. Not all kids enjoy meal times, but some really do, and I always know that, you know, food sometimes is a good reinforcer. So why not bring it into a play situation and do some pretend play with cooking and with sitting down and having a tea party or having a meal that your child has cooked. I know when I was little, our favorite thing to do, especially in the summertime, was I had a little playhouse out in the backyard, and I would play restaurant, and then I would cook bud pies for my parents, and that was so much fun. And they crawled into the little house and sat at the little the little table that was meant for, you know, the little ones, and it was really fun and engaging. And I mean, one, I just have those great memories, but two, it's a great way to work on that language because you are in that familiar context and it's exciting for your child. Also, when you let them be the one that's kind of in charge, you get more buy-in that way. So if they get to run the kitchen and tell you where to sit, and maybe tell you what to cook, or, you know, tell you what they want to eat, or whatever the situation is, you get more of that buy-in and that engagement, and it's fun. And that's the whole point, right? We want to enjoy our language learning. So let me show you just a few things that might help set this situation up. You don't need a toy kitchen if you don't have one. In my speech room, I actually don't have a play kitchen. We do have one in our preschool that I have access to, but I sometimes choose not to, and I like to see where the child, like how far we can go with an activity. So one of the things, oops, I'm not organized. There's a few different ways to do this. So depending on what kind of food you have, right? What kind of toy food. If you don't have toy food, it's okay. If you've got, you know, old boxes of, like if you have a box of crackers, or just the empty box of crackers, I mean, you could put, you know, pieces of cardboard in there to pretend to be crackers. You can start that real imaginary play. Kind of those things going with pretending items that aren't really what they are. At least they look like them. You could make them, right? So if you have cardboard and you want to make crackers, again, great. If you have construction paper, yellow construction paper, want to make pasta, do it. If you have little ones at home, I'd imagine you have some toys and hopefully some pretend food. There's lots of great, Amazon has lots of great pretend food. I'm constantly on there. Sometimes the dollar section at Target has things, you know, like this, these little felt sets, which are also really great and fun and easy to clean up. But let's say we're baking a pizza, or we're making a pizza, right? We're cooking a pizza, because that's what I have handy here. So it's nice because then you can sequence out all of the different steps of making a pizza. So I have my pizza tray, okay, and I have my slices. These are awesome. These are Velcro. I love them. And you put, you know, you can do that bit by bit requesting. So, you know, first your child needs the tray. So we have our tray. And then they need a slice of, we would call this probably the dough, right? Just to get that vocabulary. And so we need some dough. Okay, well, we have one. Are we all done? No. And then, you know, the idea is to request more, or you can say another slice, or more pizza is fine. Or even ma, right? Or pa for pizza. So as we go around and build that and get those turns in, those requesting opportunities in, or even initiating opportunities, it might be the case, you go around, you get all those, look at that, what was that? That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 opportunities in my case for requesting. So as you build something, whether it's pasta, or you're making a hamburger together, or you're making an ice cream cone, right? You can have those opportunities to request. So kind of, sitting back and waiting and giving your child that time is amazing, because it kind of allows them to see like, oh, I need something. And you might have to prompt a little bit, but trying your best to wait and give them that opportunity, and as many as you can repetitively, to learn that, oh, when I ask, I get this. And then I love this set just because then you have all these little wooden toppings that Velcro right on. So then again, you can request olives and broccoli and cheese, or pineapple. Maybe that's pineapple because there's already cheese on the pizza. And then onions, tomatoes. And I mean, look at all these little dots in this situation, you have the ability to fill up. So I will take not all of those opportunities, but I might take as many as I can, right, before the child is kind of over that part of the activity. So then here's where it gets tricky, because what do we need to do next? We need to bake it or cook it in the oven, right? However you want to say it. Well, I don't have, again, a toy set in my speech room. So when we're cooking things, I'll take a box. Lovely, right? I'll take a box and we'll put it on a desk table. We'll put the pizza inside, and we want to remember it's hot, so we got to be careful. So we might get some gloves or oven mitts or something, and then we cover it, and now it's in the oven. That's how we do it in my speech room sometimes. But again, it just enhances that those skills of kind of the abstractness of it, because some kids will say that's not an oven. And for those kids, I might take them to the toy set. So if you don't have that at home, at least maybe go in the kitchen and don't really turn your oven on, but use what you have that looks as much like the real thing as it does. This is just an idea of, and it helps build that abstract concept of, oh no, I know it's not an oven, but we're pretending it is, and it's just as fun. And then I'll set a timer, a real timer on my phone, or I have some visual timers in my speech room. So we might say, oh, the pizza's gonna take 10 minutes. And so our pizza's cooking for 10 minutes. And then in the meantime, maybe you're running a pizza shop, so you can set up your restaurant, right? Or start working on making the dessert, and then you get more trials in with making some ice cream and things like that. So that's all well and done. And for those kids where you can actually set up that sequencing and have those steps and create those roles of, maybe one of you is the host of the restaurant, one of you is the chef, or you're making it and your family, and you're making dinner together in this pretend play situation, and you're all gonna sit down together once it's done, right? So you need to set your table, and if you have like a pretend tea set or anything like that with plates and spoons and forks, and talk about what you need for all of those. Are we gonna be eating soup? No, we don't need spoons. Are we gonna be eating something that we need a fork with, like salad? No, maybe we don't need forks. Do we need something to put our food on? Yeah, we need a plate. But we're gonna use our hands to eat pizza. Unless you eat pizza with a fork. No judgment. I get it. Sometimes I do too, because it's too hot. And then you need something to drink water out of, or whatever your beverage might be, and all the components that go into your exact situation that you might have when you eat dinner together as a family in real life, IRL. And then another fun thing to do with food, maybe that's not quite where you're at with your child. So you might just be at a point where you're using your puppets. And your puppets, we might, need another one here. I love dog, by the way. I love puppets where you can do that, open their mouth, because not all my puppet friends can do that. I'm trying to find, I don't think I have another one that does it. Let's get elephant. Ellie needs some love. We haven't showcased you, friend. So we have our elephant and we have our dog, and we might talk about what they each like to eat, because why not? Doggy, he likes food that gives him lots of energy, and he likes his tummy to feel happy, and he likes to run fast, and he likes to eat meat, right? So I might want to make sure that I have my pretend meat or steak or chicken or something like that and talk about, okay, you know, we want to feed doggy this, but then elephant, right? Elephants don't necessarily like to eat meat. He likes things that come from plants. They are also healthy go choices, right? Go foods, but they might be the color green. And so then we might say, oh, do you like some lettuce? And work on yes and no, yummy, all done, time to clean up, and things like that. So those are just some ideas on this pretend play situation that we're setting up. I've also done a video on setting up a pretend play camping situation, which is really fun. And so for that, I definitely would encourage you to kind of think about these things, because when we go camping, we set up a meal, right? At some point in the camping experience, and you do all that outside cooking, and it's super fun. So you might talk about, what kind of food would you bring for camping? Would you bring a gallon of milk when you're going outside in the wilderness? Or would you bring things like vegetables and trail mix, or different things that you might be able to cook outside? So those are, again, just some tidbits. I hope you have a lot of fun playing and can incorporate all this language, this beautiful, rich language that we can when we're talking about some of our children's favorite activities that they do throughout the day. All right, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.